Welcome, welcome. We're
Hello?
here. We're waiting. We're here. We're hearing you, sir.
Can you guys hear
Welcome.
me?
Yes, we are. Welcome. Yes, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you. Are
Yes,
you
sir,
here?
we are hearing you. We are hearing you.
Oh wow. No, no. My computer is shut down completely. It just went offline. Stay on. Stay on. Can you see my screen, guys? I don't know what's wrong with it.
No, sir, we see your profile.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna bring up back the screen. But sorry, I went over a bit. But let me finish. If I don't finish anything today, I will complete looking at the syllabus. So that's fine, because today the plan was just to have the UIHS to present, and because they're not presenting, that's fine. We will I will use this couple minutes to let's take a quick 5 minutes break, and when we come back, I'm going to finish the syllabus, and then I just want to quickly delve into. I don't think we won't have time for the video. I've asked that when you have your spare time, please watch it. But we're gonna watch the thing about C.L.R James towards the end, and the issue about the Jacobins. Since we're gonna be talking about, because I want to wrap up the class talking about a new initiative, because we will have next week Monday. Well, the thing is, next week Monday, I have arranged for a special guest to be at the class. The executive director from the Institute for Justice and but that's the plan for next week. But I want you guys to watch. There's some lecture that I did that talks about Haiti, and you guys might want to do it as a class project but towards the end, I want to read a letter that I wrote today about the Haitian issue, and also want to talk with you about the petition and how you guys can get involved. I think I want that to be part of our project as character. I would love for us to be active, because we talk about outcomes. When we talk, at the end of this course, I want you guys to take advantage of the opportunities to reinvent and to remake yourself into the 21st century. And I have often said, I am all about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. I've often said that, and when I say that, I'm serious. Okay, and I believe I'm learning. I want you guys to know how to create petitions, but first how to formulate your thought. But formulation of thought comes from thinking, and thinking deeply, and rethinking. So last week we talked about thinking, and thinking what was previously thought, and of the day. That's critical thinking. Is okay. Thinking from below. It's a kind of thinking, a thinking that makes you. It hurts your head and cuts deep, but it's loving, and it is constructive. And I said there's a difference between criticism and constructive criticism. When we construct, we want to build on, we want to look at solutions that will be better. So we said that if the Jamaican government had done X, Y, and Z, and how other persons have done it, but it's very important that we look at, so that I facilitate that in this course, looking at and because we're operating within a particular milieu. So usually the first couple of classes I ramble on about different things. It's about it is a discourse is like writing a paper. I often say that's why I love teaching this interdisciplinary post-colonial course. Okay, it is writing a paper, especially someone who is from the subaltern, from looking at history from below. but I want to set you guys up. So I wrote an article about how to create, how to how to create a petition, how to create a petition. You can and I guess I'm not going to talk about how to create a petition in this class, but I think it's on my website on renaldocmckenzie.com. And if I have time, I'll do it. But how do you create a petition? And petitions are useful resources, okay, to generate concern around or to rally support around an issue that you care deeply about. So petitions are important to raise awareness and so on and so forth. Petition and especially also it's what people use, activists, and sometimes when you want to sway the get policymakers to make decisions and determinations about things, you petitions are important. You know, this course was never designed to talk about petitions, but in this course we're actively dealing with issues. Not only are we talking about it. So I wanted to share something about the petition, and I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to talk about the petition real quickly, and then you guys can finish. But I want to spend at least 15 to 20 minutes talking about the petition with you guys, and then inviting you guys to sign the petition, and to get involved in the petition, and to share the petition as well. You guys can share the petition. I invite you guys to share it. You can go on Twitter. In fact, I can give you guys Dane. I'm gonna give Dane login account. Dane, when we finish, I need to get with you, or I have to find some time over Santa. I need to get your emails. By the way, and if you guys want to share the thing, but get involved, get something. I'm going to read this article, and which is a very academic. It's really not an article. It's part of an academic text. I submitted it as part of an editorial to be published. Okay, and speaking deeply about some of the issues. And I have had the beautiful thing about this is that I got a chance to talk with the source, people who are involved on the ground, anthropologically, to present the perspective. And I would love to share that with you. So I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to take a quick 5 minutes break, and we'll come back. We're going to finish the lecture, finish looking at this. And then I am going to probably go straight into, I really wanted, C.L.R James and the Jacobins. I don't know. I don't think I can get into the UHIS. I probably have to have a different time to get into the UHIS. But because Kayan asked me about Haiti and what's going on with Haiti, I said probably I should play that video. So I will do that. So we take a 5 minutes, 10 minutes break, and then we will finish looking at the syllabus when we come back, because we're going to look at the assignments that you guys. I'm going to talk learning outcomes. Sorry, before you take the break, let me do this. I will take the break at 9:15. The learning outcomes for this course. Develop the students on completion of the course will be able to develop their critical thinking and tell their own story. Tell your own story of the Caribbean people. That's why the UHIS is so important, and me doing that lecture last week on critical thinking. And of course, examine the issues of identity and color in relation to Caribbean history and colonization. We're going to talk about the Negro is not any more than the white man. Explore the issue of poverty and inequality in the Caribbean as a direct result of neoliberal globalization. I am going to do a presentation on neoliberal globalization. And that was the majority of my thesis and my research was, to be honest, bordered exactly around that. It was very statistically driven and provided data that looks at the Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient studies income inequality in societies. Okay, and we use the Lorentz curve, okay, and depending on how and the shifts. Okay, so the book looks at that. So I guess I don't know if some people think that it's over their head, but it's really good. We also want you to develop your thinking and writing towards developing a Caribbean perspective. Develop your thinking and develop your writing towards a Caribbean perspective. I want you guys to submit blogs, journals, articles, letters to the Gleaner Write. Submit 100 until one is published. That's how you develop your writing. Develop your thinking, okay? And you develop, and by the way, develop and be open about your thinking. And if you get, please revisit. And we're going to be talking more about thinking as the course go on, so that's fine. I won't get into it too much. Develop your thinking and writing towards developing Caribbean perspective. Develop your thinking and writing. Trace the story of your own families as far back as possible. Trace the story of your families as far back as possible. You'll be able to do that. That's why you guys did that activity last week. Relate your personal history with that of Caribbean history. Relate your personal history with that of, how does your personal history relate? And we want you to do it critically examining its impact on your family background. Critically examining. Now, note, I'm going to read it again. Relate your history, your personal history, with that of Caribbean history. Critically examining its impact on your family background. How has Caribbean history impacted your family and your family? Okay, the history of the Caribbean. Critically analyze and rethink the perspectives of key Caribbean, and by the way, that means in terms of your philosophical views and theological views, and if when you look at the view, but if after you have critically examined and traced your personal history and how it fits within that context, and the dynamic and how it differs from another Caribbean person's experience within that context or anywhere else in the world, then it will help you to understand, or it will challenge you. It will challenge the privilege that you hold, that I hold, that we hold about our lives, the privileged position that we hold. Okay, but anyways, discuss ways in which we will critically analyze, rethink the perspectives of key Caribbean and diaspora thinkers and analyze their credibility for today and the future. Again, critically analyze, rethink the perspectives. Notice I say critically analyze and rethink. I keep saying rethink. We are rethinking things. The perspective, to revisit it. The perspectives of key Caribbean and diaspora thinkers. That's why you have petitions. Petitions is about your petitioning for change. When you have a petition, you want to change something, okay? Something that is an important issue. You want to change. And to create a change comes from, it means you have to change perspective. You're changing perspectives. So that is why, as I said to you, critically analyze and rethink. Perspective, petitions come from rethinking, from critical thinking. Okay? That's why some people don't like apologetics. Some people don't like apologetics because apologetics is the use of logic to defend the faith. Some people don't like to be challenged. Some people don't like their faith to be challenged because they said that some people, they're afraid to be wrong. They are afraid to be wrong. They just want to be right. Okay, so they are afraid to be wrong. I used to teach apologetics, okay, which is the use of logic to defend the faith. Okay, and people said, well, my faith is based on my faith is not based on no reason. And when you go to, and in certain religious traditions in the Caribbean, they eschew theological education because they believe that it takes away from the dynamic and the power of God and how God moves, because they believe that they have a franchise and how God works. They believe that God works in a particular way. But people don't realize when you start to study power and then study person, that's a perspective. that people privilege. So they believe if too much exposure to theological education will dumb you down. Too much exposure to theological will dumb you down. Okay? Right, will dumb you down. That's what they think. Too much exposure to theological training will dumb you down. And so I'm here. I was supposed to be sharing my screen and I completely forgot. Let me bring it here. But let me pause this quickly. Too much theological training will, that's the thinking in many churches, especially churches, some evangelical churches, Pentecostal, some Pentecostal bent churches. I apologize if not all Pentecostal churches. Some of you are from Pentecostal churches, so I apologize. From apostolic traditions. And it's true, but education, a lack of knowledge was always part of the strategy. When you look at think about the Reformation, the Renaissance and the Reformation and the movement towards enlightenment, why people talk about enlightenment? Because only certain people were exposed to truth or to knowledge. In fact, it was the right of only certain people to have knowledge, to the point where they create laws against exposing knowledge to people, biblical knowledge. And they would defend that because they wanted. Okay, so anyways, we're talking about when you thinking and how we are rethinking things, the perspectives and the issue of faith and how people have certain faith and how they create perspectives about God. If you have too much education, but that too much education comes from people, it changes one's perspective. It in a sense, people don't want to be exposed to the truth because it will challenge you and it will change your position, because people want to have the authority. People appeal to authority. Appealing to authority establishes credibility within a society that is built on institutionalism that is all but ensured to promote privilege. Antonio Gramsci in the Prison Notebook talk about it. To be honest, I have the book right here on my desk right now, right here, and here is the book. In fact, if you guys want to see the book, let me bring up my computer here. I'm not reading from the book, but I want you guys to see the book. This book. This book is a very powerful book. It's called The Prison Notebooks by Antonio Gramsci. And I referenced this book also within my research. And we will spend the time. This is, as I said, this is just the introduction to the course. So don't get worried. This is just introduction. And we're dealing with issues, but they are very important concepts that you must take a note of. Because we're doing critical thinking, we're brainstorming in our critical thinking. Where was I? I got sidetracked. I was talking about a very important issue. Antonio Gramsci talks about the privilege and there is another book that I was reading earlier today. If I could find it, I revisited that book. I've read the book before. It's from Immanuel Kant, which God, where is it? Here we go. Immanuel Kant. Powerful book. It's on history and it's translated. Okay, because it was it was translated into English. And according to, listen to what Kant said here. Sorry, so, let's listen to what Kant book in this book, written by, it's translated, it's edited by Louis Whitebeck. And Immanuel Kant was not a historian. In his literary remains, we find this note: I shall not make my head into parchment. However, he was a philosopher with a philosophy that seems singularly unlikely to encourage a philosopher to take history seriously. To take history seriously. It's as if that's why people think that's why many critical thinkers, sometimes you wonder, are they philosophers? But we talk about deconstructivist philosophy. In deconstructivist philosophy, you're deconstructing and dissecting. So his critique, because it's as if we are critical of history, but we are dissecting. His critique of pure reason studied the foundations of knowledge. The foundations of knowledge. But by knowledge, he meant almost exclusively Newtonian physics. So he studied Newtonian physics, and Newtonian physics helped to shape societies today, especially the Western civilization is dominated by Newtonian physics. Society finds anything that it can use to substantiate its privilege, and it's a system built in a certain way. Talk about Augustine and Ignatius. Ignatius, if you study the church, the Roman Catholic, the Christianity never had a Roman identity, not until the first 100. Okay, it wasn't not until later, 100 years, the first 100 years of Christianity, we find the church started developing this Christian identity. Okay, 100 years of Christian identity. Sorry, Roman identity. They start to Romanize the church. And some of these, and even some of the caveats about that appeals to certain authority came from this Roman and identity. That's not even just Roman, it's actually from, even if you go back from Homer, and well, not necessarily Homer. Homer wasn't trying to privilege anything. He just wrote beautiful stories about what he thought about all things that men in the future have taken and interpreted it or reinterpreted it. But anyways, Newtonian physics, but this is important, listen to this. He was a philosopher with a, sorry, I am saying here that by Newton, so philosopher was suspicious of history in a sense. He was suspicious of a knowledge. He studied the foundations of knowledge, but by knowledge, he meant almost exclusively Newtonian physics. And by foundations, and Newtonian physics, the law of thermodynamics in a sense, or sorry, not the law of thermodynamics, the history, as if everything has some natural law, a natural order of things, as if everything operates in a certain way that men have come to ordain. So from Newtonian physics, you get the idea that certain leaders are supposed, that kings and queens, their positions are all but established by nature. Certain things that we take for granted by nature come from a kind of historical understanding about reality and about physical space and time. So that is what. So Kant he studied pure reason. He studied the foundations of knowledge, but by knowledge he meant almost exclusively Newtonian physics, and by foundation he meant unchanging, a priori forms, and categories of the mind. In other words, his critique of practical reason, not pure reason, practical reason, studied the foundations of ethics, but from them everything anthropological, having to do with what? when we talk about anthropological, having to do with the varieties of human nature. When we talk about anthropological, we're talking about the human nature. You're going deep. You want to understand society from the varieties of human perspectives, from the ideas of that people associate with themselves that have come to form connections and commonality that speaks in community. Say, for example, the nigger culture. People say, I'm a nigger, or there is this issue in John Jackson talks about how in he studied black neighborhoods, and in some communities there are people there are people who would perform. They perform blackness. They perform this nigger mentality. So in other words, there is no. In other words, he was trying. He studied the culture or human nature or the society of and from that, by studying and by living amongst various groups of men and becoming part of the community and the part of the lifestyle, he took onto himself the identity of the identity of the people of the community he lived in, and the ways in which those people think, in a sense, and came to understand them in a deeper way, and came to understand the connections that they have, and came to the conclusion that people were performing blackness. So it's not that people are born biologically to perform blackness. No, they associate blackness with a particular with a particular sociological understanding or historical understanding that people have come to adopt into their psyche, and they have through socialization have passed it on from one generation to generation. But also they think about the benefits to be derived as well, in a sense. So people think that in certain African American communities, they are performing blackness, performing nigger mentality. Or Jamaica, there's no such thing as Jamaicans, really, in a sense. There is an idea of Jamaican, and then a particular human being can step into that role, can step into that identity. I wonder if you understand what I mean. So you can't think of the understanding of Jamaican as being purely as being coming out of man, or it existed from it's nowhere. It exists, or or people are just born and develop that Jamaican. We say culture is the way of life of a people, but that way of life is not big, does not come from the way of life is not a way of life that is created by anything external to the human, but it is the human that has imposed upon the created spaces and the ways of life. So therefore, when human beings are challenged by life and the cultures or the ways of life, it is because the human have created the challenges of life that has exposed and predisposed them to the kind of life. Say, for example, I said, why do you put up walls in your life you can't jump over? I used to say that to somebody. Why do you put up, there are certain walls and certain things that people put up walls. There are certain issues, there are certain things that people have, that people have concretized. Or maybe they don't put it up. They have accepted it. The external put it up for them. But anyways, but the point I'm making is, I said to you last week, you go outside and you see a tree. You don't take for granted that it's there. Critical thinkers don't take for granted. You wake up and you are in the dump. You are poorer. You have less. Your family. You don't have generational wealth compared to other kind of people. And it's based on certain skin color or certain experiences. You wonder why. Is it just because of is it because of just that's how the society is? That's how That is life. That is part of Newtonian physics. That's nature. That is the problem with Newtonian physics. That is the problem of that is why we, that's the problem of lack of thinking. And sometimes it's a strategy. But anyways, so his critique of pure reason studied the foundations of knowledge, but by knowledge he meant almost exclusively Newtonian physics, and by foundation he meant unchanging a form and categories of the mind. His critique of practical reason studied the foundations of ethics, but from them everything anthropological having to do with the varieties of human natures and circumstances, and everything historical concerning the development of moral codes and institutions was ruled out as irrelevant. In other words, he's saying Kant came to the conclusion that history is a result of human nature and circumstance. History is a result of human nature and circumstance. And when you study the foundations of knowledge and education, when you study the historical development of society from one generation to the next, and the dynamics of people and the traditions and that they hold and the values that they have and how that have changed over time and so on, then you get to understand the ideas behind them. And I say to you, so some people are afraid to be challenged, or they do not want to be challenged, okay, because it will affect their position. Because we live in a society where you have to appeal to a certain authority in order to get credence. I was talking to my my vice president, the vice president of the Neoliberal Corporation, who is also a co-producer of some of our shows that we produce. And I said to him, when you start a company, there are three very important things that you do. When you start a company or a church or a business or an effort or a campaign like the petition that we're doing, when you start anything you're doing, there are three very important things that you do. You establish presence. Yes. You build reputation, and you develop integrity. Presence, reputation, and integrity. Those three things are very important when you start a business. Money is important, but outside of money, I'm telling you, the most important thing. You mean if you don't have money, there's three things that you should be working on. Leveraging technology. Yes, leveraging technology to develop your reputation. Okay, but also you want to develop your integrity. Integrity speaks to consistency, and you want to establish reputation. In other words, you're branding yourself. You're developing branding. That, so there was even in terms of how we think about society, the Anglo-Saxon race was the better race. So you're branding the predominant view within which we find ourselves. It came from a branding, an established psychological thinking that bent in the minds of people based on. But outside of that, so history is a result of the varieties of human nature and what is happening in society at the time. We talk about different dispensations of society, from one dispensation to the next, and how societies change. How has the Caribbean changed? Now, I said to you, when we're looking at tracing the Caribbean, where do we start from? When we study Caribbean, where do you begin? Do you begin from 1494 or you begin from before? Well, if we begin from before, then you're going somewhere else. Okay, where are you going? Africa? Or where do you remain? And even now, when you look at the Caribbean now, they say that we are people of hybrid identity. Hybrid means mixed identity. The issue of identity, we are mixed. But of course, okay, so when we talk about Indian urban heritage, we're not saying that we people who are urban all come from an Indian heritage. What we're saying is that the heritages of Caribbean and West Indian people have been misclassified. Okay, because in terms of how you look at the history books, okay, and how when you look at the documentary evidence, very little is said of any connections between the original people, the native, and the people that exist today. We talk about African heritage, we talk about we talk about well, when we talk about Indian heritage, we're not talking about that kind of heritage, Cherokee and those kind, the American Indian. We talk about like East Indians. We talk about people, black people, people of color, Negroes, black people, or whatever they African Americans. Talk about people, but of course, I wrote that in order for there to be change in society, we have to reimagine and rethink people. I said reimagining people within critical race theory, not thinking race, but moving away from a hero approach, from a victim approach to a hero approach. Moving away from a victim approach to a hero approach. That's what I've said. Okay. And so probably that's what it takes for the Caribbean to reinvent itself. A rethinking of how we think about how do we study history. Okay, because that's what critical thinking, black scholars like Dana Berry, White and who was it that I read? Was it Contesting Terrains? Can't remember the name of the author, Richard Gilroy, and the other talking about the way we think about history. But the way we think about history is changing now because who is writing our history is changing. We find more and more people who were affected negatively by history and by the progress and the advantage of society. The people who are affected the most. The people in history who are affected the most. I have left my train of thought here. I have completely forgotten what I was talking about. But anyways, what point was I just making? It's left me.
So you were talking about who were writing our history.
Yes, thank you so much.
Blacks are now writing our history.
Who writes? Thank you so much. We talk about writing our own history, but who is right? So the way we think about history is changing. Black scholars are now rethinking how we think about Black peoples and people of color and the people who are oppressed. Rethinking about their position in history, and they are rethinking about it because now they are studying it themselves. And we are because something when you want to hide the truth, you make people dumb, you redefine them, or you hide facts about them. But okay, and then you start to study archives. You look at all, and suddenly people are now taking ownership. That is the problem. When you start to rediscover things, you can take back ownership of things. That is part of the problem of this UIHS that many people don't understand. That's part of this identity and lineage. Part of lineage was not just about a sense of belonging and stuff, but also it was also a sense of property. We talk of why do you think Israel or the Jews could go back to Israel today and take back after thousands? How many years was it? Thousands of years. About how many years? 2,000. How many years that they left Palestine, Israel? Not until 1948. 1948, Israel became a nation, a nation again. Are you understanding the significance of this? The Urban Indian Heritage Society and people are claiming. So if people can claim heritage, people can claim to be Jews so they can go back to the Jewish land and reclaim their land and say that was our land in the first place. So if the Jews can do that, if the Jews can claim that their land was stolen from them, yes, and go back to that land, go back and claim that land, and to reestablish, then it's time to reason. Then anybody who have anything stolen or lost can now offer a claim. to that land. So now we talk about so we talk about the issue of lineage. People are talking about it in nice ways. Well, I don't know if we have no, but now the urban Indians are saying no. Well, okay, for urban Indians, you can. I mean, the issue is very one of a political nature. We talk about this misclassified Indians, urban Indians, and whether or not people of the Caribbean were really just of a Caribbean. Do we have any claim to any natives of the land? And if we have claim, what does that mean? Does it mean that we can have some kind of restitution? Can we file grievances and claims on behalf of and we talk about establishing. No, the only history that they want you to establish and to claim is one that is brutal, one where you were victimized, one where you are the only part of your history that they made it, that the only part of history that we have evidence of is the one where we are slaves, is the one that is brutal. But the one that speaks to resistance, where we are, the one that speaks to the indomitability of the man, or the one that speaks to any claim outside of any other race that may seem to claim ownership. Well, you can say, well, probably you can claim ownership in Africa. They would say probably you're African, but if you African Americans go back to Africa, are you gonna be able to claim land in Africa? Are you welcomed? Are you seen as Africans when you go back to Africa? When you think about in terms of land, okay. But probably there's claim to that. But what about but when people file a claim, you don't only file a claim wherever you have experienced loss or injury. So where have the Caribs, from looking at it from a legal perspective, where has the Caribbean, where have we experienced loss? We're looking at it from a legal, when you talk about legal situation, when you talk about things legal, you talk about where have you experienced injury. If any situations that cause you personal injury or loss, any people that cause you can sue them. You always have to demonstrate injury leading to loss. If you can demonstrate injury leading to loss, then yes. Slaves can probably demonstrate injury, but they cannot demonstrate loss. Because, especially any claim to, there is no claim to this land. There's no claim. For some reason, there is hardly any documentation about any connections. It is as if the way in which the history books were written and recorded, it was written so indelicately, to ensure that everything is left out. But okay, except for the part that speaks to you and your privilege. Okay, but anyways, the point is, so the issue of claim, lineage is important. The Jews painstakingly go out of their way to maintain people talk about having customs and traditions, so that to keep that connection. And any claim you have of the past for property is important because it helps to ensures generational wealth. What has helped to dog people of color in the world, and especially in the Americas. But we talk about music and sports and artificial intelligence. Is that the future? Is that the hope? But anyway, let me wrap up here. We talk about in a sense, Kant, in a sense, his idea, in a sense, helped to shape post-colonial thinking. And we say that Caribbean thought is part of post-colonial thinking, and post-colonial thinking or post-colonial thinkers are skeptics. Post-colonial thinkers are skeptics. That's who we are. post-colonial thinkers. We are skeptics. So you can bring this up, bring my screen up. We were supposed to take a break, and I completely forgot. But we will just wrap up in, I guess, we'll wrap up in a few minutes. I apologize about that. But post-colonial thinkers are skeptics. Post-colonials must be skeptics or suspicious of history and its creation of the present, just like Kant. And Kant is one of the persons who helped to influence post-colonial thinkers like Homi Bhabha, post-colonial thinkers like Homi Bhabha. Frantz Fanon, he's a colonial thinker that has helped to influence post-colonial thinking. So in a sense, yes. But we talk about Michel Foucault. We talked about Michel Foucault. He believed that social institutions helps to maintain knowledge in society that helps to preserve a particular kind of knowledge. But of course, he said that this is important to help to maintain to maintain stability. We talk about stability in society. Stability in society is important. So inequality is relevant. We need people who are poor, we need people who are dependent, and that's why we have competition. And so as a result, Caribbean people, they lost the war of time. So that is why we talk about the Black position, or in a way you have the Black position in the world. What is the Black position in the world if the human race is based on some kind of competition? And I say to you, the slaves or the Black people have lost the race of time, or the people of color have lost the race of time, and which creates a position in society. But we talk about whether or not we are in a race. And but I said to you, I mean, there are those people who don't. They would tell you that we are not. They will tell you that we are part. We live in a world of equal opportunities and justice and value, but that is not what pertains in the world today. That's not what pertains in the world today. When you explore all things, when you study post-colonial thinking, and when you study the economics of the world today, and I said yesterday, I think I mentioned the idea of relative deprivation, that says societies where there is high amount of income inequality and poverty you have a high amount of crime and violence. And in communities where you have high communities of color, a dynamic mix of people of color, you find that theory to hold true. So you notice the amount of thinking that I'm doing while talking with you guys, the thinking and rethinking and questioning. Such is critical thinking, such is Caribbean thought. We said analyze. We said we're going to analyze the credibility of people in the past to today. Examine the role of religion in the defense and repudiation of slavery. Examine the role of religion. And by the way, I was being deliberate in some of my words just now when I speak. I speak in very poetic, and when I speak and write in poetic ways and terms. Okay, I give you enough, but not too much. Okay, I speak in, but anyways, so I said I ask you to, because I say to you, we talk about appeal to authority and how human beings create experience and make it normative and exceptional. People talk about American value. American human beings have this tendency to exceptionalize their position, an exceptional thing, the exceptional. It is my way or the highway. It is exceptional, which, anyways, religion plays a very important role. We want to examine you should be able to examine the role of religion in the defense of and repudiation of slavery. Discuss ways in which society, and you, the student, can advocate and act on behalf of the vulnerable. So that's why, I wanted to go to the Haiti thing. Again, I said just now, what do we want to do? Which is, we want to discuss the ways in which society and you, the student, can be advocate and act on behalf of the vulnerable and oppressed. Say, for example, doing the petitions, discuss the church and your role in changing challenging structural injustice. Structural injustice. Talk about Michel Foucault, structural, talk about the structure and structures and how structures are created. Antonio Gramsci, a structuralist, Immanuel Kant, Michel Foucault, all those people, all help to influence the kind in that's those thinkers is part of post-colonial thinking, postmodernist views, all those kind of perspectives come on, is helps to influence Caribbean thinking and Caribbean thought. Okay. We want you to be able to articulate your perspective on the Bible's relevance in the Caribbean context, explore US-Caribbean relations in shaping Caribbean and its diaspora. Consider the question, is there any hope for the Caribbean and Jamaica in light of Western capitalist penetration? Consider that question. I wrote an article to the Gleaner about that, but that's one of the questions that's one of the things that we want you to leave with. We hope that you will begin to explore mediums to express your thoughts. We talk about social media platforms like podcasting, YouTube, and writing letters to publishers and blogging. Take advantage of those things. Expressing that thought, normalizing that thought. We're going to be doing lectures, digital and multimedia presentations, guided group work, weekly journals, interaction papers, essays and quizzes, cinematic film presentations. Now, I'm gonna in terms of the grading assignment, we're gonna wrap up with this. What's your assignment? So what's the expectation for this course? There are 13 classes that will cover the course material, and students, we hope that you'll get 10% if you participate in the class. And what does that look like? You get what does that look like? Attending all classes and meeting all deadlines and timelines. Students should communicate their with lecture ahead of time if they are having any difficulties meeting deadlines. So please let me know that. You can, secondly, we're asking you to have a weekly interaction paper, 5%. So I will give you an interaction paper this week. And it will be, I will tell you, it will be about, the question will be about critical thinking. Critical thinking, but how do you, okay, I'll put that, I will ask you that question after this when I'm finished. Let me finish this quickly. Weekly interaction of 5%. I will ask you to do an interaction paper based on a film that you've watched. There's group work, 10% of the grade. You will be placed in groups. Now that's what we need to work on. That I think Dane, I would love for you, Dane, please help to organize the groups, organize the class in groups for me. Work with Chantel to get your groups together. I need you guys to get I need groups of about 12 people in the class, so we can have a group of 3 or a group of 4 persons per group. 4 persons per group, we'll have 3 groups. So we'll have 4 persons per group. I think we have about 12 or 13 people in the class. So I think it's about 12 we have in the class. So we'll have 4 persons per group. So we need 4 persons per group. You can probably choose your own groups and discuss that amongst yourself. And then we can start with group work starting next week. But that will be 10% of your grade. There's going to be a midterm short paper, 8 to 10 page essay paper in which the student interacts and submit an aspect of his or her group's final essay paper. Well, sorry, we're not doing that. There is no final, not the group, but your final essay paper. So your final essay paper I'm gonna ask that you send me an outline of your for your midterm short paper. It's gonna be really an introduction or an outline, a brief outline and introduction of your final paper. So that's what your midterm paper is going to be. It's an outline and an introduction of your final paper. And then the final paper is worth 25%. There is going to be a final grade. Final grade is 40% of the grade okay? You will get extra credit. Write a 500-word essay on the following text. Frantz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth. It's all there. If you get 5%, you also get 5% extra if you submit a blog or if you get a paper or a letter published or a blog published or whatever, you get 40% of the grade will be determined by the score on the final exam. I understand that you have to pass both the final and the essay, but you have to pass both in class and the final in order to pass the course. You will pass this course. Discussions and lecture topics. I have some lecture topics here. You can read it yourself. Caribbean thought, ideology, and philosophy. The challenge of identity and the issue of sexuality. Reverend Hewitt Holmes will come and do that. He'll do a presentation on that. Poverty and inequality and opportunity, resistance and dilemma of social power. The social origins of democratic socialism in Jamaica and the Caribbean. I will do a presentation on that. American penetration, Haiti and justice with Brian Concanen. He will come next week, Monday. Science and technology, looking at artificial intelligence and what that means for the Caribbean. Slavery, maroonage, emancipation and humanization, nationalism, including the Haitian War of Independence, Cuba War of Independence. We'll look at that briefly. Pan-Africanism, religion, social consciousness, empowerment, colonialism and decolonization, and the bureaucratic phenomenon. What is the bureaucratic phenomenon? That is important. I will define that next week. I will define that at the next, not at the next class. I'm not sure yet. We may define it at the next class. Yes, we will define it at the next class. Actually, we will define it at the next class. But if you guys can define bureaucratic phenomenon for me, what is bureaucratic phenomenon? And yeah, what is bureaucratic phenomenon? How important a term is the bureaucrat? How is important a phenomenon is the bureaucratic phenomenon to the study of Caribbean thought, or why is it an important? Why is the bureaucratic phenomenon an important study to the issue of Caribbean thought? What is it? It's really, and that's it. I won't say anything else. Okay, probably you could. Strategy and systems, slavery, feudalism, neoliberalism, Marxism, and capitalism. Again, we're going to look at strategy and system. We already started talking about strategy and systems. Every system have a strategy, okay, based in some kind of philosophical or some principle, okay? Now, we're going to look at from slavery to feudalism, neoliberalism, Marxism, capitalism versus dependent capital. What is capitalism? And how does it differ from dependent capitalism? What is socialism? And how does it differ from democratic socialism? That's important. And of course, we talk about democratic socialism is what the political ideology that was very important to many islands of the Caribbean, especially in the 1940s and 50s, and we moved towards. But okay, and we talk about democratic capitalism in the 1970s leading to the 80s. We weren't we weren't seen as dependent capitalist countries. Okay, not until the 1970s, or more so the 80s. Okay, and then of course the issue of immigration and brain drain and American politics. Mr. John Anthony Castro, the US 2024 presidential candidate and the president of AI Tax, will come to the class and we will have him to talk to you guys about the US Constitution and politics and what that means for the Caribbean. He will present in the class. We will talk about deconstructivism and critical history and philosophy, critical race theory, introduction to, we want to lift up people like Dana Berry White and so on. Social organization, period poverty, parenting and family life and sexuality. Regenerative agriculture, science, innovation, social media and digital technology. What are the opportunities and threats moving towards competitiveness? So we will look at that. Week 1, those were the topics we're supposed to be looking at. Week 2, we're supposed to look at the challenge of identity. We're not going to be following this, so please ignore this. We're not doing this for this week. Okay. Now, we were supposed. I wanted to end it. I'm going to stop right there. So you guys. So the requirement for this course again, you guys have it. You will. Attendance is paramount. That you come to the class and attend all the class. 5% weekly paper. I deliberately mark for attendance, and by attendance being we know how you attend by looking at we have we know how you attend the class. Okay. And I said to you, it's not just about missing a class, it's about missing time based on the time adds up. So if you miss 5 minutes per class, that is 5 times 13. That's how much time you have missed for the class. So if it adds up to a certain number of hours for the class, then that affects your ability to pass it. So don't miss the, okay, so it's not just about, you can, so there are times when you can be absent if you can be, well, this is an online course, so we expect online attendance. So that's it. Now, I'm going to end the class by, well, I won't end the class, but again, Dane, so I would love for you guys to get to participate in the Haiti in a very important issue with Haiti, and there is to be honest, time is of the essence right now, and let me stop my screen. And there is a very important. Yeah.
Sorry, Dana's left. He said he had to leave.
Yeah, we're gonna stop here. But for the hope, what I want you guys to do for the homework, I want you guys to read the issues surrounding the Haitian crisis. The question is, I'm gonna send this question out to you guys. Hold on just for a second. Let me stop my share screen here. We have been talking about, I'm very involved in a very important issue. And I wrote an article today. I don't think you guys have time for it. So I guess what I'll do is I'll table it for next week. We have a petition, and I'm gonna, Chantel, could you send the petition to the students?
I already have, sir.
You did it already?
I've already sent, yes, sir.
Okay, so we are.
Group, sir.
So we are doing a petition, and actually the petition started from when the gentleman came to the class. Well, I've lost access to everything. Oh, wow, not good. If I could find the petition. Okay. Then we are liberal. So I want read the petition and discuss it among yourselves, your friends. Share it with other people, please. But I'm going to bring it up right now. Okay, there we go. Bring up the petition here. It's called Voices United.
Sir?
Yes.
Excuse me, what time class finishing?
Well, okay, we finish in 10 minutes.
Sir,
10 minutes.
remember to honor the break, sir. We didn't get a break. Yes,
oh
sir.
my, okay, what time is it now?
Sir, it's 9:08.
Wait, hold on. Class is finished?
Yes, sir, 9 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't get the break.
Oh my God. Okay, so we will end the class right now then. Okay.
Thank
All right,
you,
tell you
sir.
what. So
thank you.
Yeah, there is a video that, okay, watch. I want you guys to watch this video. Let me just bring it up, and I'm going to share it. C.L.R James. Jacobins. Let me see if I find it. Is this the video? Ah, here we go. It's called C.L.R. The Black Jacobins to Saint Olivier and Saint Domain. C.L.R. James and C.L.R. James wrote the book The Black Jacobins in 1970 about Haiti. If I could find it for you, this is it. The Legacy of Black Jacobins. No, this is not it. Let me see if this is it. No. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna find a video for you guys. I found it to be quite interesting. This is it.
Christopher Columbus landed first in the New World at the island of San Salvador, and after praising God, inquired urgently for gold. The natives, Red Indians, were peaceable and friendly and directed him to Haiti.
You guys, that is C.L.R. James. That's C.L.R. James speaking. Did you guys hear that just now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap. That's not the video I wanted you to hear, but I'm gonna share my screen with you. That's it. Share. Okay, there we go. And yourself.
A large island, nearly as large as Ireland, rich. Christopher Columbus landed first in the New World at the island of San Salvador, and after praising God, inquired urgently for gold. The natives, Red Indians, were peaceable and friendly and directed him to Haiti, a large island, nearly as large as Ireland, rich, they said, in the yellow metal. He sailed to Haiti. One of his ships being wrecked, the Haitian Indians helped him so willingly that very little was lost, and of the articles which they brought on shore, not one was stolen. The Spaniards, the most advanced Europeans of their day, annexed the island, called it Hispaniola, and took the backward natives under their protection. They introduced Christianity, forced labor in mines, murder, rape, bloodhounds, strange diseases, and artificial famine by the destruction of cultivation to starve the rebellious. These and other requirements of the higher civilization reduced the native population from an estimated 500,000, perhaps 1 million, to 60,000 in 15 years.
And thus it is that Dr. C.L.R. James, a very distinguished scholar, reads the first 2 paragraphs of his prologue, a remarkable book, a classic, The Black Jacobins, which deals with the Toussaint Louverture-led Black Slave Rebellion in San Domingo 2 years after the French Revolution. In these 2 paragraphs, Dr. James, your style of writing, of course, is a very salubrious one indeed, but the bite, the irony, and the truth, you might say, of white man and all these years of Western civilization, so-called, in these 2 paragraphs, you've almost essentialized it.
Yes, I think so, and I wrote it quite naturally. I didn't have to search, but I'm a West Indian, and we in the West Indies are very much aware of the contrast between what the white man says and what he does, because we are Western civilized in our orientation, so we are aware of all the things he's saying, much more than people who speak a different language or live a different type of civilization.
This very point you make, which you point out, Professor James is now visiting professor at the Northwestern University. The fact that you're West Indian, this has already been a fascinating historical point, isn't it? We think among the leaders and the whole black liberation movement through the years have been West Indians.
Yes, we have had a whole lot of them. We have had Marcus Garvey. We have had Aimé Césaire, the poet, with that magnificent poem on Africa in which he stated the question of negritude. We have had René Marin, who won the Prix Goncourt with the book Batuala on Africa. We have had George Padmore, Marcus Garvey, as I said, and we have had, there's no doubt about it, that Malcolm X's mother was a West Indian, and that had something to do with it, and Stokely Carmichael was born and grew up there as a boy. I also took some part. I believe it is something that is worthwhile, and I know and feel myself as a West Indian as Padmore was.
It's as though two cultures are fused, in a sense.
Yes, we are not admitted completely into the Western culture, but we have all the possibilities of developing it. So I'm being kept back at home. We went abroad and made the best use of both the opportunities of education and the impulse towards freedom which we felt in the islands. That is the reason why the West Indians have done so well. And I would like to add this, that Fidel Castro and the Cubans are not all black people. Fidel isn't black at all. But the attitude of the revolution and what they are doing is essentially a West Indian revolution, similar to what Toussaint Louverture did.
Yes, so we come, in fact, you have an appendix to your book, an epilogue. You wrote the book in 1938, how remarkably prescient and prophetic Professor James' book is, because he dealt with the nature of Africa and the possible independence movements back then. But the epilogue is from Toussaint Louverture to Castro. Now, Toussaint Louverture, and it's imperative, of course, that white people know this. More blacks do, or we know that younger blacks are aware of this. I had difficulty finding this book, by the way, in white bookstores. I found it at the Ellis Bookshop on South Cottage, which is significant in itself, I think.
I think the book now is being sold and read everywhere.
Yes.
I think the movement on the whole, it is being read and studied in universities predominantly white in the United States. That is a fact. Although it's the black movement that has given it the great impetus.
Perhaps we should dwell upon the nature of this book, and it's a terribly important one. It's the Black Jacobins, the subtitle, Toussaint Louverture and the San Domingo Revolution. Now, here you describe a scene. The Spaniards came, the French, the British. They found a great...
Okay, we will stop there. We will stop there. Let me stop share. Did you guys, were you guys finding that interesting? We will stop here though. We won't have time. I'm gonna, in fact, I will send it to you in the link. Okay, guys?
Okay, sir.
I will send, but you notice he said something very important. He makes a distinction between, he said, he's not black, but he's West Indian. He's not black, but he's West Indian. So can you be black? Can you not, I mean, what does he mean that, what does C.L.R. James mean when he describes Castro as a brother? Nevertheless, he says that he's not black, but he's West Indian. I mean, not that he didn't, so he's not black, he's not a black brother in a sense, but he says he's not, but he's West Indian. He's still one of us. He says he's West Indian. So when you talk about to be West Indian is different. To be, we are people of the Caribbean, are part of the Caribbean is considered to be, or the English speaking, we are considered West Indian. C.L.R. James talked about, what is it? Is there a difference? Is there a distinction between saying, to say West Indian as against to say anything else? And if you read the article that I wrote to the Jamaica Gleaner, I talk about going beyond to be Jamaica. The word Jamaican speaks to something beyond ethnicity and race. Jamaica, okay. Yet we are conditioned by the wider international and political issue that associated with race that we find ourselves in. Yet the West Indies, so we talk about, we talk about C.L.R. James, C.L.R James make a distinction about say he's not black, but about the red Indians, What was he talking about? Did C.L.R James acknowledge urban Indians? So for you guys for next week, for you guys to answer those questions about what does it mean to be West Indian? In the sense that, sorry, when C.L.R James says of Castro that he's not black but he's West Indian, what does he mean? Is there something unique?
Same school of thought, sir.
Huh?
Maybe they're from the same school of thought. They do things the same way. They think alike. So that's
Okay,
what he's talking.
okay. Now when you good. Now I'm gonna show you how you write now. When you write, if you respond. Just maybe they are from the same school of thought. The way how they write. Now, this I love it. Thank you for responding, Susie. What are you going to do now, Susie? That is your homework for next week, for Monday, for Wednesday. Sorry, actually for Wednesday. Bring this for no. That's the homework for this week. So you don't have to give me, because we do it in terms of a week. So between today and next week, Monday, the homework that we're dealing with is this. And is this, what does it, the question I just asked you. And Chantel, write this down for me, please. What C.L.R James in an interview said that Fidel Castro is he's not black, but he's West Indian. What is it? And Susie said, oh, well, maybe, okay. Now, if I were to ask you to answer the question, of course, in an academic way, of course, you said maybe he thinks, no, that's when you're going to do your research. What is he getting at here? Does he think that they are of the same mind? I mean, sorry, are they of the same mind, the same school of thought? But when you say same school of thought, what do you mean? I'm going to ask that question. What do you mean when you say they're from the same school of thought? Okay. And okay, but you are hypothesizing here. Why would you say that they are from the school of thought? But first, I'm going to ask you, what do you mean by that? So then I can say what I say next. Because if you mean what I think you mean, then I would say this. What makes you think that have anything to do with the same school of thought? Because, when you say that they're from the same school of thought, I thought you were getting at something, a particular thing. But how do you know that they're from the same school of thought? By school of thought, what do you mean, though? Do you mean religiously? Or I don't want to give away the answer. I know what the answer is, because you're going to say, okay, I want you guys to do the research. I know the answer already. I know what I'm going to say. You hit the nail on the head. You said it tonight. You responded in such a powerful way, but I don't think you meant what you meant to mean. What you have said. What you said means something different. Okay, why do you say that? What do you mean by they have the same school of thought?
All right, sir. I read a book that is based off 80s culture. It was just literature, Brett Eye's memory, and it, to me, the history there, it is somehow related to the kind of history that I hear of Cuba. Yes, it's Cuba. Yes, of Cuba. You know,
what history are you talking about, though?
All right, so what you call it now? The kind of leadership that is there, really. The kind of leadership that is there. So I'm just making relationship here, and that is why I think that it is the same school. It's the same. They think the same way, basically.
Okay. Anybody wants to help her out? Anybody wants to help her out?
Good night, everyone. My name is Casey. I just joined in. I think I saw it on um my email, and I decided to listening. School of thought in my area of study, because I did early childhood, and I know certain psychologists. They normally have a certain school of thoughts where they will say that a child learn in a specific way, and then you'd have a number of psychologists who believe the same thing. So my understanding of school of thought is that a collective group of person will have the same thinking. So some like Piaget would say that children learn based on age. Then you'll have same psychologists who believe that what his study is and their study is the same thing. So that's my understanding of school of thoughts. Sir.
Okay. All right. So you guys, the homework for this week is for you guys to answer the question. What does he mean by that? By that? Are you a student in the class?
Sir, I don't know. As I said, I saw it on my email and I
Okay.
decided to
I talk.
listening.
We need to talk later on. But guys, great. Welcome
Yes,
to the
sir.
class. I don't mind. Welcome to the class. But do some research around C.L.R James, and because I said to you we're going to study. There is a relationship between C.L.R James and Fidel Castro. But what is that relationship? And does the relationship between C.L.R Castro and Fidel, does it have any bearing with any other important figure in the Caribbean? That's it. I won't say anything else. I'm happy. I won't even go to the next, because this is I can't. I want you guys to do your research and come back, and because C.L.R James, by the way, C.L.R James is not from Haiti. C.L.R James is a Trinidadian. Okay, but he wrote about Haiti, just as though Stephanie Black, sorry, Jamaica Kincaid is not from Jamaica, but she wrote the book about, wrote the book, A Small Place, about Antigua, a small place by Antigua, looking at how structural adjustment affected structural adjustment and how globalization and how they looking at how structural adjustment and the relationship with the IMF, how it has affected Antigua. And then Stephanie Black, who is a feminist, developed the book into a film based on Jamaica, using the same style and everything, but in a sense, talking about Jamaica and the realities of Jamaica. And when we watch that film, we're gonna watch that film now. No, we're not watching it this Thursday. We're watching it week after next Thursday. Not next week Thursday. By the way, my birthday is coming up on Wednesday. But next week we're gonna watch the film Life and Death. But it's very important that Haiti. Stephanie Black, who's a feminist, was able to write the book. About what's his name again? Stephanie Black wrote the book about Antigua. So in terms of the context might be similar. And so on and so forth. So similar experiences. I see that some of you are, the context is similar, but this was important. I want to play some more for you guys, but I'm gonna leave it so that you guys access that a bit more, and then I'm gonna read. I wanted to read the article about Haiti but I won't read the thing about Haiti, but if you go to change.com, guys, there is an article, and there is a petition about Haiti, and I was going to read that petition about Haiti just now, but I don't think I have time. But there's a very important petition that we are working on. If I could, here we go. But there's an article about the student in Caribbean thought class. There's an article about the student in the Caribbean thought class. Once upon a time, in the Caribbean and the diaspora, a group of passionate students and their professor in Caribbean thought class at Jamaica Theological Seminary came together to advocate for a cause close to their hearts, the restoration of democracy in Haiti. Inspired and challenged by Reverend Renaldo McKenzie of the Neoliberal Corporation and the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti's work in raising awareness and fighting for justice and democracy in Haiti, a group of individuals felt compelled to take action. They recognized their duty as Samaritans, as good Samaritans, to their Haitian brothers and sisters, and were motivated by the lack of social action among Caribbean peoples in support of Haiti's fight. With a deep sense of purpose, and this is the last thing I'm doing, and then we wrap up. And then we end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to promise you that next class, remind me to take the break, okay? And I'm going to give you a 15 minutes break because you guys have been so good in terms of, okay, you guys have been amazing, and I just want to tell you thanks. So, this is where I wrap up the class. So I'm reading from the Neoliberal Post, and you guys are seeing my screen, the Neoliberal Post website, renaldocmckenzie.com, and there's an article that was published in the Neoliberal Journal. It's called, and it was submitted to the Jacobins magazine and also to the Jamaica Gleaner and to other media houses. It's called Voices United, a petition for Jamaica in Haiti. This is not the actual petition, but it's an article talking about the students and the petition. And the article says, once upon a time in the Caribbean and the diaspora, a group of passionate students and their professors in Caribbean thought class at Jamaica Theological Seminary came together to advocate for a cause. Anyway, I think you've heard me read all of that already. Inspired and challenged, I think I read that already as well. But let me read this part. Inspired and challenged by Reverend Renaldo McKenzie, blah, 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 and IJDH work in Haiti to bring about awareness and fighting for justice and democracy in Haiti. A group of individuals felt compelled to take action. They recognized their duty as Samaritans to their Haitian brothers and sisters, and were motivated by the lack of social action among Caribbean peoples in support of Haiti's fight. With a deep sense of purpose, they embarked on a transformative journey to address these challenges head-on. They believed in the power of unity and sought to gather support from the Caribbean community and its member nations to take a stand for their Haitian brothers and sisters. In their quest to bring about change, they decided to create a petition campaign titled CARICOM People and Their Diaspora Support the Restoration of CARICOM in Haiti. The petition aimed to raise awareness about the deteriorating democratic situation in Haiti and call upon CARICOM to remove international support for the current de facto authorities. With great enthusiasm, they carefully crafted the petition, capturing the essence of Haiti's struggle and its significance to the Caribbean region. They highlighted the systemic dismantling of Haiti's democracy, the control exerted by gangs, the rampant corruption draining public resources, and the alarming levels of hunger faced by millions of Haitians. The petitioners reminded their fellow Caribbean citizens of the shared history between Haiti and the rest of the region. Haiti's courageous fight for independence in 1804 paved the way for liberation movements in other nations, including Jamaica. They acknowledged Haiti as the first colony to abolish slavery, a milestone that impacted the trajectory of freedom in the Caribbean. Understanding the challenges faced by Haiti, the petitioners stressed that international support for the de facto government was not only a betrayal of democratic values, but also a disservice to the Haitian people who had sacrificed so much for freedom. They firmly believed that a legitimate Haitian-led solution was crucial to restoring democracy and paving the way for a better future. As they penned the petition, the petitioners recalled the remarkable role CARICOM had played in the past. They remembered how in 1994, Jamaica led a successful United Nations peacekeeping mission that restored Haiti's elected government. They celebrated Jamaica's unwavering support for President Jean-Bertrand Aristide in 2004. Despite immense pressure from external forces, these acts of solidarity had proven instrumental in the restoration of democracy in Haiti. Filled with hope and destination, the petitioners turned to their fellow Caribbean citizens, urging them to add their voices to the cause. They understood that true change required a collective effort. And each signature on the petition was and is a symbol of unity and support for Haiti's democracy or democratic aspirations. They reached out to communities, organizations, and individuals across the Caribbean, spreading the word about the petition and the urgent need for action. They shared stories of Haitians from all walks of life: journalists, security guards, doctors, factory workers, mothers, and fathers, who longed for a future free from corruption and fear, where they could chart their own destiny. Their plea was simple: join them in signing the petition to call upon CARICOM, the Caribbean community, to refuse support for the illegal de facto government, propose the suspension of Haiti from CARICOM activities until fair elections were held, and demand the implementation of democratic principles outlined in the Inter-American Democratic Charter. The Inter-American Democratic Charter. As Caribbean thought students, you should know that. What is the Inter-American Democratic Charter? We won't have time to get into it. As the petition gained momentum, signatures poured in from all corners of the Caribbean. The petitions were heartened by the overwhelming response, a testimony to the shared commitment to justice, freedom, and democracy. They saw each signature as a beacon of hope, a tangible representation of the Caribbean people, standing together in solidarity with their Haitian brothers and sisters. But they didn't stop there. The petitioners continued their tireless efforts to gather even more signatures, attending events, engaging in conversations, and spreading the word through social media platforms. They knew that every additional signature brought them one step closer to effecting change and restoring democracy in Haiti. And also, the petitioners reached out to you, dear reader, with an earnest request: lend your voice, add your signature, and stand in solidarity with the Haitian people. Let us come together as one Caribbean family, united in our determination to bring about a brighter future for Haiti, where democracy thrives, corruption is eradicated, and peace and prosperity prevail. Sign the petition today, and let our collective voices resonate across the Caribbean, inspiring hope and change for our Haitian brothers and sisters. Together, we can make a difference and create a stronger Haiti, firmly rooted in the principles of democracy and justice. Sign the petition for Haiti, for a stronger Haiti. And of course, for more information on the Haitian crisis, please see the below links for information, and we show that. This is the interview I did with him. It's available. You can go to and there are also related links: Caribbean Thought Lecture 8, the fight for justice and democracy in Haiti. And also there is the petition, there's a US sign-on letter that is being done here. And there's also, we did one that looked at re-examining our history, a new perspective. You guys can look at that too. The petition was organized by Renaldo McKenzie and students in his Caribbean thought class at Jamaica Theological Seminary. Notice, I'm putting you guys out there. So get involved, guys. Get involved, lead this task, share it with your friends. We have a responsibility. I am passionate. While I felt like I was going to cry just now, because we've been hearing about this Haitian crisis for a very long time now. Okay. And by the way, and if you want the petition, you can just click on this and it takes you straight to the petition. You don't have to have an account to sign the petition. Only 6 persons have signed so far. But I'm asking each of you to sign the petition as soon as you get a chance. Just copy the link, and once you get the link, even now, if you guys can sign it, sign and share it once you do. Share it with other people. Okay, that is the link to the petition. So that's the link to the petition. Yeah. Okay. And you can share it with your friends. But guys, that's it. I'm going to stop here. This was very important. This is very important because it helps you to understand that, you know, because as I said to you, part of what I would love for you to get in to do is get to know how we talk about developing critical thinking, but how you rally around cause, how you create petition. And actually, by the way, I wrote an article, how to create a petition. If you guys have causes that you are working on, I'm going to send you a website right now that can help you to create a cause from scratch. They didn't create the cause, I created it from scratch myself. I wrote it from scratch. I'm a creator, that's what I do. But if you are struggling with creating causes, I'm going to send you a link to our website right now. Sorry, where is that website? Okay, let me, this is the 1 second, I'm finishing the class, right? So, and I'm gonna have this video available, so it's fine if you guys never got this. There's a link to this website. If you guys get a chance to, there we go. So I'm sharing my screen. If you go to the neoliberal Renaldo C. McKenzie, I'm gonna share it to you guys. Click on this. This is also a lecture, part of a lecture and a presentation I'm doing, but I'm sending it to you guys apart from outside of anything else I'm doing. How do I send it? How do I send it? Copy. So I'm sending you this article. I wrote this article today. It says how to create a powerful petition for change. How to create a powerful petition for change. Okay, and it tells you, and you guys can read it. And one of these days, and probably one class, if you want me to go over it with you guys and talk about a little bit about it, I will do. It's a very brief article, but it will give you, it's steps. It's actually steps how to create a live petition you can follow. How you can, and you guys can learn how to do that. Okay, and now you guys should, since you guys are, I'm empowering you guys with the resources and tools. So if you go to this, it will show you how do you create, and if you have causes you're working on, it doesn't have to be for international. It can be for Jamaica stuff, or it could be an organization, an issue. Some of you have issues that's going on in Jamaica right now that you guys want to lead a cause, lead anything, or a petition to. So maybe what you could do, or maybe a project could be create an awareness around an issue, and then from that, and how you're going to do that, and develop, and then one of the things you could do, a petition. So one of the homework for this semester is going to be different. Last semester was more Haiti. This semester you could create a petition or an awareness around an issue, or you can the group that you formulate. What issues going on in Jamaica? What local issues are in the Caribbean that you want to work on? Or you might say, I want to work on this Haitian thing and find a way to even expand it in my church to develop to develop awareness around the Haitian crisis. So so what I'm going to be doing, so there are two awareness. I'm going to bring awareness around the urban Indian and the issue of identity and lineage. Okay, but and the issue, the Haitian issue, bring awareness around it so that you guys can talk about it with ease. But also you guys can create petitions and sign it and get people to sign it. You can send it. You can, I can also, if you guys want and your email to be added as people who can share and send the link, and you can manage the link and you can see how it's performing, how we're doing. If you guys want to, in fact, I believe that as all of us in part of this class, we can join the efforts, be a part of it. Right, and part of your weekly progress interaction paper could be interaction about the campaign. If you get involved in about the Haitian campaign and what you're learning and what you're experiencing and how it's going and who you send it to and what people are saying, you could, okay, so if you could, we could send you the email. I'll send you the email for the petition. I'll add you to the email list, and you will also have access to the petition. You could send it to your friends and follow up the petition and get involved in. So we want to build awareness around it. So remember that we said that Haiti got independent in '84, but we are calling for them. We're calling for democracy in Haiti today. How is that so? How is it that Haiti was the first democratic? They were the first Black country to get independence, but today we're calling for a democratic solution or the restoration of a Haitian-led democratic solution in Haiti. How is that possible? Okay. All right, that's it, guys. Take care, guys. What good, and thank you, guys. I want to spend some time to speak with each of you this week. So between now and next Monday, you're gonna see me calling you. If you see me, it's part of it. You haven't done anything wrong, but it's part of getting to know. I did that for every class. At the beginning, I reach out to every student. So between today and Friday, my birthday is Wednesday, so I won't do any calling on Wednesday. Wait, hold on. Do we have a class on Wednesday? Oh,
Yes, sir.
wait, hold up. I will let you know if we're having a class on Wednesday. It's my birthday. Oh my God. We will have a
Yes,
class.
sir.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me stop share the screen. We are done for today, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, guys. May God bless you and keep you. And call
Sir,
Yes, Casey.
you said you wanted to say something to me, right?
You are the new student, right, in the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, first of all, we did a PowerPoint presentation that I sent out to the students. Please get a copy of that. Chantel is the assistant lecturer. Sorry, not that. She's not a lecturer. Oh my God. She's my lecturer's assistant, and she communicates. She helps with a lot of the communication in the classes, and she's my official assistant in a sense. The head of the class is Dane, who's the class monitor. He's one of your students. There isn't we have every week we do a video, we do a recording, or make it available. The last class video is available on YouTube, and it's available on Spotify as well. And you can go to renaldocmckenzie.com and access copies of the film. Of the video for the last class. Okay. Chantel will send it to you. This class is about developing awareness, but also building awareness, promoting awareness. We are about thinking and learning and reshaping the future, and part of that is facilitating knowledge and growth. So we want you. So we are working on several. This class is a lab. When you come to Caribbean Thought, it's a lab. So
that's the name of the class, Caribbean Thought?
Yes. Did you register for this class?
No, as I said, I saw it on my email and decided to check it out.
The link was sent out because we were supposed to have a presentation tonight, but it was postponed. So the link went out to all JTA students. Maybe that's why you get the link to.
Okay.
Right.
No, I can't understand.
Right.
Yes. But they will present next week Monday. They will present next week Monday.
We can join on Monday.
You can join next week.
Okay.
And we have other special guests that will join the class, such as John Anthony Castro, the U.S. 2024 presidential candidate, will join the class from the U.S. talking about American politics and what it means for Jamaica and the Caribbean, and his role in American politics. He's running and he's suing Donald Trump as well for his role. In January 6th, we will also have Reverend Hewitt Holmes will join us talking about sexuality. The issue on sex. He's the pastor of a Toronto church. He's from Canada. I mean, he lives in Canada, pastors a church in Canada, but he's originally from Jamaica. He was ordained by the United Church. He was my a student. We were both students studying in the United Church when just before we were ordained as pastors in the United Church. And so I would love for you guys to and we have one more guest, Brian Concanen, executive director for the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. And we have several other guests that will come and join the class as well for this semester. But this class, the class is powerful. The class is a lab. We're not just talking, but we are thinking and talking, and we're doing something about what we are doing, what we're talking about. This class, Caribbean Thought class, is leading at the resolution, the petition, creating awareness around the Haitian crisis, and we want to bring about change. We're bringing about change. So that's what we are about. And thank you for joining the class. And please visit us again if you get a chance. Okay.
Sure, Mr. McKenzie and Miss Burton. Thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to come to next class for that session. Thank
Yes.
you.
You are welcome, Casey.
Yeah, man.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless you. Thank you, guys. And I pray that God will keep you guys. And I pray that He will continue to expand us, give us opportunities for the future, help us in our endeavors, and bless us to help us to be safe. Keep us safe, Lord God, and help us to be safe and not to put ourselves into situations that make us unsafe. We pray, Lord God, for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and that you will give us wisdom and direction on the Haitian situation. And we pray that we'll have hundreds of thousands of signers signing this petition so that we can take it to the heads of government in the CARICOM and to press for change, to press for wisdom, that CARICOM would press for change, and we would not allow this to continue. Let the Haitian people determine their future. Let the Haitian people determine who they want to lead.
Yes, Lord.
These are the mercies we ask. Amen. I will meet with each of. I want to meet with you, each of you guys this week. For the rest, whatever is left of the week, we will work it out. But at some point, I will text you and tell you, hey, are you available? I'm calling you now. Okay, you just get a sporadic call from me. Say, hey, this is Renaldo. I'm calling you. I will call you to find out just talk to you about your class, talk to you about probably the assignment that you gave, that's the last class, and about your feelings for this class, and any hot button issue. I want to do that this semester. Just have a quick call with each of you. So throughout the rest of the week, I will be calling Chantel. Please hold me to that. Dane, hold me to that. Okay, I will talk to each of you this week, and just to get how you're feeling.
Sir, at this moment, sir, there's only one person in the class that is hearing what you're saying, and that is Jacinth. Everybody else has left.
That's fine. The class is.
So we have to put that in the group that you're meeting each person this week by phone.
Yes, we can do that. And the class, well, I see 4 participants, unless one person is hiding them.
Me, yourself, and Miss Jacinth and Miss Casey, who was not in our class.
Okay, all right, Jacinth. And Jacinth, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Good. And did you watch the? Did you watch the video that we did for the last class?
No, sir.
But when you do get a chance, please get a chance to read it. It's really powerful. I watched it, and it was sometime when you have to watch something again to get the gist of it. You know.
Okay, sir.
And what in terms of the Haitian the Haitian crisis? Do you want to get involved in it in a more significant way?
So I think I need to know more about that.
Great. Well, we're going to spend some time talking about it next week or Wednesday.
Okay.
Actually, this Wednesday, I will talk some more about the Haiti situation. This Wednesday, I will talk some more about the Haiti, just to get you guys ready for the presentation from Brian, because Brian is coming on. I will prepare a lecture on the Haitian situation and what's the situation in Haiti. I will prepare a lecture for that for you guys, so that you guys are more aware and informed about what's going on in Haiti. So I'll do that for you guys. Okay, but it doesn't. To be honest, if you go to change.org, or you go to the website, if you go to change, that the email I sent you, it talks about the issue, and it summarizes the problem. Haiti doesn't have a local leader. I mean, sorry, they don't have a local representative or a government that is elected by the people. Sorry, my brain is slow today. What's going on? A government elected by the people. That is not democracy. And the people are calling for that. But the thing is, there is a group of people who were installed, and they are against any election. It is as if they have a dictatorship in Haiti today. There is no election, and the people are calling for it. The people are calling for an election. I think somebody said earlier, why don't they have a referendum? Well, I don't know, but is that what the Haitian people want? Is that what would suffice? We want to be honest, what we are calling for, I don't care what they want, but what we are calling for is, well, I care what they want, but what we want is for them to be able to self-determine. For them to be able to do what? To self-determine. For them to achieve the nation. That's what Pan-Africanism is about. Pan-Africanism is the recognition that we all peoples can achieve self-government, self-determination, to determine their own futures. That is what nationalism is about. The fact that Haiti does not have an elected government and have the people who are opposing, it means that they don't have democracy. It means that they have not achieved the nation. The nation, a nation state. The question is, have they achieved the nation? Achieving the nation is important. We thought they achieved the nation. That's what independence is about, achieving the nation. But there is no nation, because guess what? Because the leadership, they're not the people who are leading them have been installed by and blessed by those outside and external to the local. That is a problem. So, and every country needs that pride, But what you have is that but you also have a local infighting. I mean, not an infighting. A group of people who are privileged. Like it's as if you have a group of people who hijack the country. But then some of the people in the Western world, some of the countries, the group that leads that I mean, some people here in the West, in the global North, there is some people who have connections. Maybe there are connections. I'm not going to say that, but we understand that there are deep connections somewhere. When you have connections, when you have strong connections between people who are involved in exchanges, then there's a problem. Because why you think the West was so slow and Germany was so slow to apply pressure to Russia? Because Russia and Germany are in bed. Russia and Germany they have an economic partnership and economic deals. It's in Germany's interest for Russia to do well, in a sense. So those kinds of connections help to mitigate change and to mitigate change. We talk about the local. What are the locals doing? the local nouveau rich. The nouveau rich, the elites, the dominant class. You know, every Caribbean country have a dominant class. Sometimes we call them the new house slaves. We call them the new what? The new house slaves. We stop here. Thank you guys. Take care. We will have the class available. Welcome.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Remember, do the homework, Justin, about Haiti. We will email it. Okay?
Okay.
About what connection? Why would I'm gonna, since you stay for the class, I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you that, okay? And I'm sorry to work. I'm gonna give you something to work with. Susie asked a very important question, and I thought she was getting the answer, but she didn't go far enough. C.L.R James. You have, in order to understand that question well, you have to study C.L.R. Who is C.L.R James? He's a Marxist. So, of course, he's a Marxist brother. School of thought. When you talk about school of thought, you talk about disciplines. He's a functionalist. So, okay. Anthropologist. What kind of anthropologist? Okay, he's a Marxist, socialist, democratic. Does he practice democratic socialism? What kind of school of thought? It's an educational school of thought. What kind of school of thought? He's a postmodernist. That's what we're talking about. Okay, and no, but of course, Fidel Castro one moment says, he says, we are of Latin African heritage. He says Latin African. But anyway, but they're both Marxists who believe in a kind of socialist resolution to the problem of Caribbean. So yes, that's why he speaks so glowingly of Fidel Castro. Yes, he speaks. That's. I'm giving you the answer partially. Okay. He speaks glowingly of Fidel Castro. All right, that's it. All right.